sir.
Yes, he did.
Donnybrook is made possible by the members of the 9 Network.
Wow. Hey, thanks for joining us for another edition of Donnybrook. Great to have you with us. Season's greetings, etc., etc. We've got lots to talk about, and we're going to invite you to join us October the 1st for our Donny Bash. What a great holiday gift that'll be. Well, she's back, the media veteran herself and the news director for KTRS, Wendy Wiese, along with one of our founders, Mr. Bill McClellan from the Post-Dispatch. Another founder, he's Ray Hartmann from KTRS and the Riverfront Times. And from the St. Louis American and 590 and 97.1 and beyond, Mr. Alvin Reid, also looking really sporting and festive. And I just forgot, on this Thursday night, Ray, Carly Kloss is in town. She's appearing on Washington Avenue. You met her once,
I did meet her.
Yeah, is that something?
She's quite tall.
I don't know what, yeah, she is. She's tall. Accomplished supermodel, and soon Washington Avenue will be known as Carly Kloss Way, the pride of Webster Groves. But she's not our first topic today. Instead, it's the tax credits that the Major League Soccer backers are looking for from the state of Missouri. It was announced this week they're looking for $15 million over 2 years, so there'll be $30 million total. 15 this year, 15 the next. Should the state give soccer in downtown St. Louis $30 million?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, I mean, why? I thought this was the thing that, you know, I mean, I'm all over us getting an MLS team. Thought that was a done deal. And I thought it was also a done deal that the Taylor family, billionaires, good for them, were going to build the team. And as I say, there's a lot more to it. They're part of an MLS marketing deal that makes it a good investment for them, I think. And I hope they make tons of money. But why do they need money from the state of Missouri? And one other thing, every time we get stadium money from the state of Missouri leaves a mark, and it makes it less likely that we're going to get something more worthwhile from the state of Missouri.
Well, I don't think that the legislature looks kindly to St. Louis anyway. I mean, I don't think that if we get $15 million for the soccer team, that the legislature, that if they didn't give us that, the legislature would later say, I want to help St. Louis schools or something. I mean, the legislatures just don't like us. So I think the Taylors are still paying the bulk of this money, and I say it's a good thing for the city. So I do think the state should pay.
I actually agree. I agree with Bill. And the only part I don't understand, MoDOT, right, is going to sell the land to the city. Is that correct? They're going to sell the land to the city of St. Louis.
Yes.
And then it has to be decided whether or not the city will sell to the MLS team. But I agree with Bill. You cannot do what we've done for the Cardinals. And yes, of course, I understand. They are the Cardinals. And this is an MLS team, and it is exciting and it's new. But we've also helped the Blues. The state has helped the Blues. Taxpayers have. So this is to me, 15. If it were $30 million 1 year, $30 million the next year, then it would be like, eh. But 15 million and then another 15 million. Okay. I'm being generous with everybody's money.
Well,
but
I often do that too, right? He said, like, I want to be a football stadium. Right. But okay. I'm kind of with Ray in that, all right, I thought this was all done. I thought this was a done deal. And then two, seriously, I've said I've been waiting for this other shoe to fall. This is a size 8. The size 12 is coming from the city. Because if they need this from the state, what's to stop them from saying, like, hey, city, we need this. Or, hey, region, we need that. So it's setting the stage for financial disappointment. And maybe it won't come, but like I said, I thought it was done.
Well, I will say this, you know, it's $30 million. And if you read the Post-Dispatch November 24th, there was a great piece by Jesse Bogan and Kurt Erickson on how they can't find $20 million for developmentally disabled adults. You know, guys who are wearing diapers and they can't speak and they have helmets because they bash their heads against the wall and the floor. We're $20 million short for this organization. So many of these people are not getting the care and services they need from the state. If you give $30 million, that as a tax credit, that's $30 million that actually comes out of the money that the state has to spend for programs like this.
Of course, and let's be clear, the word need should not come up here. They do not need the money. And I keep saying this, these sports franchises are great investments. Good for them. The DeWitts paid $55 million net in 1996 for a franchise that's worth something close to $2 billion today. Good for them. It's capitalism. It's America. Same with the Blues. The Blues have probably quadrupled their investment in 10 years, but they do not need taxpayers' money.
Let's just stop all the corporate welfare altogether.
Fine.
That would be a great idea.
We could certainly start with the sports team.
Need it, but let's not say yes to the Cardinals, yes to the Blues, yes to this corporation,
I keep saying no to all
yes to
of
this
them.
corporation, but no to the Sox.
You're saying no, but you're not in charge of the kitty.
Well, but I've been no on this. I was no on 17 million.
So congratulations on your consistency.
Well, right.
But I don't think that the MLS team should be penalized because we've had this largesse with everybody else.
I don't think you have to be consistent in this judgment. I think you can say like yes to you and no to you. And I'm looking at I'm looking at this soccer stadium. How much is it bringing in? As opposed to the fact that the people are worth several $1 billion.
Okay, guys,
Tell them no.
Well stated. Let's move on to our next topic. Bill McClellan, Metrolinx's Talby Roach, the CEO there, announced this week that for the first time they're going to be funneling people who ride Metrolink, I guess, through one gate where people will have to show a ticket. You know, right now, since Metrolink opened in 1994, we've had the honor system. You buy a ticket, you go on the train, and then they check for tickets while on the train. Well, now, to get on the train, you're going to have to pass through one point and show that you have the ticket. And I'm just thinking, that's a novel idea that we've been asking for about 25 years, don't you think? I mean, you're a little surprised that they're doing this?
Yeah, I mean, and good for them. I'm glad they're doing it. But for years and years, critics have said, we need a turnstile operation. And Metrolink has said, ridiculous, we're not doing it, and it's too expensive. And all of a sudden they're saying, well, now we're going to do it, except we're not going to call it a turnstile. We're talking about, instead, it's a funnel. And, you know, so good for them that they're doing it. I think people should have to have tickets to get on Metrolink.
It's actually one of the 100 recommendations in the study that I got beat up on this show, saying was a big deal.
You really need to get over things.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I got beat up defending, it was a study, it was a waste of money. And I understand a lot of the stuff in the study was common sense stuff. This is one of them. It is not a turnstile system.
So we needed a professor from New York. We needed a professor from New York to take a $100,000 study and tell us to show a ticket before you get on.
We shouldn't have needed it, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff in the study that is serious, and all I'm saying is it was one of their recommendations, and I'm glad he's doing it.
Okay, well, I'm so confused on why we can't have a turnstile thing, but we're going to call it a funnel.
Because there's a different concept. The turnstile systems, which is where a lot of them are built, you have a whole range of a half dozen or so.
People are funneled into this little area.
They're not funneled in a turnstile system. It's different.
We took the metro into Washington, D.C. from Virginia over Thanksgiving. We took the, so I know you do. And you not only have to have a ticket to go through the turnstile to get on the train, you have to have a ticket to go through the turnstile to get out of the subway. Now, that's the way it should be done. But what I didn't like about the article was he was saying that that this will cut down on the bad behavior and the petty crime. I don't think anybody cares about the bad behavior so much as we do about the guns that are killing, that kill people. Well, sure, but I'm more concerned about guns.
But here's the key, and the key to this is, if you do have to go through any set pattern like that, guess what? There's a camera on you, and now we know exactly what you look like and exactly what you had on, and that will not, that won't be a problem. And I think that will cut down people that were coming on there to shoot or maim somebody.
Now, let me ask you another question. Alvin, while you're talking, don't go too far, because business leaders told David Nicholas of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that they just are really upset that the area is not growing. The head of Alberici says he can't lure workers here. Bob Clark said, wow, in Chicago they can really get things together, which can't be done here because we have too many economic development agencies in St. Louis versus Chicago. And in general, these construction leaders really bemoan the fact that we're not growing in population or jobs. What's your take on this?
I'm not buying any of it. I think this is a handout. This is like, you don't give us what we need to prosper, and it's in a bizarro way, even though some of these people are conservative, some of them are liberal. This is some trickle-down nonsense. The more money I make, the better you'll be. I'm not signing on to that. And I really wanted this Bob Clark, who said, like, there's more diversity in St. Louis than there is in Chicago. I'm definitely not buying that. So I don't know where all this is coming from.
Well, Clark should know. His headquarters is in Chicago now.
Well, that's fine. But what are we talking about by diversity when you're in the, like, they have not a lot of black people making $500,000 a year and owning part of the company? Well, if you've got more of that, and say more power to them. But don't tell me anything in Chicago is less diverse than it is in St. Louis.
Was Arco Construction the one that does 90% of its business outside of the St. Louis area and is worth what, $4 or $5 billion?
Or maybe McCarthy. Yeah.
Or maybe it was McCarthy. But I agree with you to a point. I'm not sure. I know we have to take a break. Maybe we can pick it up when we come back.
Oh, we got time. Go ahead.
Well,
Make your
knock
point.
yourself out.
Oh, I thought we had. Okay.
Make your point.
All right. I think that they certainly, it seems like it's a handout, but at the same time, these are truly successful concrete cartel members, and they love this city. Not enough to stay, some of them.
Yeah,
but they're saying that if we do make it too difficult to cross the T's, to dot the I's, to get these things underway, then I think we should listen to them. They're talking about 62 cranes as opposed to one or two here and there.
Bob Clark, a fellow Parkway guy, and he's the guy that stepped up to the extent, it hasn't helped so far, but he's the one guy that stepped up on the loop trolley when they need money. But Bob is a great guy, and I happen to agree with their message. Their message really wasn't about getting them a handout. It was complaining, I think, about the fact what the real takeaway was is that we're tribal. We have this. We don't have any regionalism. We have 100. We have like 23 port authorities and 42 economic development agencies. We need more concise economic development, and I think he's right about that.
Maybe we can pick it up from there. But right now, we want to ask you to join us for Donny Bash. It's our big fundraiser, and it's a lot of fun. Here are the details.
Can you believe that we are just about to wrap up our 33rd season of Donnybrook right here on the 9 Network? Hi, I'm Mary Ann Carson, and I guess a lot of us do agree that this program must be doing something right. We hope that you stay with us because we have some wonderful ways for you to become a member of the 9 Network and to support Donnybrook for yet another season. Also right now, the special for Donnybrook tonight, we have a $3,000 member challenge grant. We want to give a special thanks, a very special thanks to the donors who are making this challenge possible. The challenge grant will match your gift dollar for dollar up to $3,000 during tonight's Donnybrook episode. So please call us now to help us reach this challenge tonight. And thanks to those members who are making this challenge possible. Now, of course, if you've got somebody on your holiday gift list that may be a little tough to shop for, and boy, don't we all know some of those people. Well, we have a wonderful way that you can gift them during this holiday season, and that is with tickets to Donny Bash, which is going to be going on once again this year. It's only held now just once annually, and the fall date in 2020 has yet to be determined. We want to make sure that at $5 as an ongoing monthly contribution, that you know that you will receive 1 ticket to Donny Bash, 2 tickets at $10 per month, and the best deal of all is when you become a sustaining member at just $15 a month, make that $12 a month, because at $12 a month, you get 2 tickets to Donny Bash, plus you also get the Donny Brick, which is wonderful, very popular with a lot of our viewers. And speaking of popular, let's go over to our studio next door and join my good friend Will Shaw and the folks from Donnybrook right now.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Well, here I am right in the middle of all the Donnybrook folks. How about that? I am right where you want to be.
Yeah.
And you can be in my spot if you become a member tonight and get tickets to the Donny Bash coming up on October 1st. And rub elbows with these guys, just like I'm doing right now. I mean, this is pretty great. I've really made it all my old high school folks are saying, "Oh man, we didn't think he'd go that far," you know. But here we are. So, happy holidays. How are you guys?
Right.
I know that you love having people come to the Donny Bash.
We're already ready for next October 1st.
October 1st, 2020.
Counting down the days.
And when you join, you can join us at the $5 sustaining membership level, and you can choose the Donny Bash if you like. And when you do, we'll send you one of these, and so that you can give it to the person that you're going to, if you want to really make hay with somebody, well, here's a gift for them, and they can be your guest at the Donny Bash on October 1st. And don't forget that we have a $3,000 challenge grant going on during this broadcast tonight. They will match your donation, your membership, up to $3,000. So we really have to capitalize on that, don't we, fellas?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We say this, but it's always true. It's a great gift for the holidays, for someone on your shopping list. Let's face it, everyone's got an attic or a basement that's full of stuff, or maybe your storage room or whatever. And this is an experience like no other, I think.
It's a stocking stuffer.
It is.
Put it in your stock.
It really is, and we're always so surprised by the number of husbands who give Donny Bash to their wives and wives who give Donny Bash to their husbands because it's destination viewing for them on Thursday. Not only Christmas and the holiday season or Hanukkah, but anniversaries. I mean, they actually give Donny Bash as an anniversary.
Right,
gift, so.
and as crazy as it sounds, like, say, well, you're talking about October the 1st. How many people say, like, this was a Christmas gift?
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Lots
and it gives
of them.
to Channel 9 all year long because obviously you're sustaining us, and that's very important, especially if, we've got matching gifts tonight.
That's because you're doubling,
Exactly.
You're doubling the money.
Yes.
9.
You think October 1st won't get here quickly?
It will be here tomorrow.
It'll be here tomorrow. Right.
And This is a great time to give to public TV.
Yes, it is.
Especially the station. I was just walking the hallways here and seeing the famous people who had been at Channel 9 through the years, from Jim Henson to Arthur Holly Compton. Steve Martin actually performed a New Year's Eve concert live on Channel 9 once.
That's right.
It's amazing. What a legacy.
I was with you, Charlie.
Yes. Bill McClellan. Oh, I forgot to
Well,
mention.
I didn't even know the name of that Nobel Prize physicist that you rattled off a minute ago.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of gone downhill because we used to have Nobel winners walking around these hallways. Now they got us.
Well, but you draw the crowd. I mean, who knows from physicists, but everybody in the area knows the Donnybrook people.
We haven't been confused with physicists. That's for sure.
No.
That's very true.
It's all relative.
Seriously, one thing, we talk a lot about how polarized and how divided the country is, and something that you all do, you really do, keep civil discourse alive. I mean, it may not happen anywhere else but here, but you really do that.
But it's just on the set.
Off then we go to our trailer.
There's a lot of anger.
We don't really. We just sort of.
It's that whole Metrolink study. He won't let it go. He won't let it go.
Talk to my agent if you need.
Now, I know that is not true because I've seen you off camera, and you guys are good friends and great hosts for this show. It's time for us to go back over to Marianne, but we will be back with the Donny Bash folks in just a moment.
Thank you, Will, and this is a great time to remind you once again of this very special evening, particularly about Donnybrook, because tonight we have a $3,000 member challenge grant, and we want to give a real special thanks to these donors who are making this challenge possible. What this challenge grant will do is they will match your gift dollar for dollar up to $3,000 during tonight's Donnybrook episode. So please call us right now to help us reach this challenge tonight. And when you become a sustaining member of the 9 Network at $5 a month, you've got your choice. You can either have the Donny Brick, or you can have one ticket to Donny Bash, which is on October 1st of this coming year, 2020. The best deal, though, is when you join us at $12 a month as a sustaining member. You will receive the Donny Brick. You'll receive 2 tickets to Donny Bash at Sheldon Concert Hall. Wonderful venue. We know you will have a great time. If you think Donnybrook is fun to watch on TV, you don't know what you are missing. So give us a call right now or join us online at 9net.org. That's NINEnet.org. so mysterious.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we've got lots to talk about, and we're going to continue our discussion on this Donnybrook with Wendy Wiese. By the way, enjoyed your work earlier this week with Don Marsh. The two of you worked together on Monday and Tuesday.
It was great to see him and to be with him, and he looked great. He really did. He looked terrific.
Be careful.
He looked terrific.
A couple of broadcast pros. Well, I want to ask you about what's going on in West County. You know a thing or two about that part of our area, and maybe not just West County, but South County and possibly North County. And that's the deer. Apparently, there's so many deer that a couple members of the St. Louis County Council, Mark Harder and Tim Fitch, want to allow, I guess, people with bows and arrows to go into our parks, keep everybody else out, and they're going to hunt the deer. They'll cull the deer. I don't know if there's any plan to turn the venison over for meat, but, because the deer are eating our shrubs, we should kill them?
I think if there is enough of an overpopulation issue, from what I am told, and I have seen Bambi, and I have cried when Bambi's mother is killed like everybody else, but there is nothing pretty about starvation and disease. And if that, the verbiage there about eating our shrubs, that is unfortunate, because we share our neighborhood with lovely deer families who are everywhere, and we're used to it. But it is an overpopulation issue, and I think that bow and arrow, it sounds so brutal, but I think that it is more brutal to watch them starved or to be to die a slow death if they have some kind of disease. And this is all making me very uncomfortable. But now,
isn't it a public safety issue too, though? I mean, I read John Hoffman's excellent unauthorized
West
County thing, and John is always pointing out the accidents with cars and deers. And I'm not out there much, so I have no idea whether it's true. But if people are constantly running into these deer,
and they're everywhere on the side of the road, it is not, and it is definitely becoming more and more of an issue. And these, there's this, I think there's this sense that people with bows and arrows, and you think they have a cooler full of beer and just a bunch of yahoos. These are hunters who know what they're doing, and I think that this might be a way to handle the problem.
We had Mark Harder on our show. St. Louis in the Know, 9/11. Monday through Friday on the Big 550.
Who was it?
Mark Harder, the councilman, was on, and he explained it. And first of all, I'm on Bambi's side. I'm sorry. I just go with Bambi instinctively. And I really think the shrubbery argument is not great. But there is genuine, and I don't question their intentions at all. I have a plan, actually. I personally think we should load them in vans or trucks and transport them to the rural areas, and I know how to do it. We have Stan Kroenke pay for it out of the NFL settlement because he relocated the Rams, he can relocate the deer. He relocated the Rams, he can relocate the deer.
I think to get rid of them, they should play your radio program with Jake Hansler.
Right. Oh. That would be good. No, but I seriously think there is a public safety. There is genuinely a public safety component to this. The bad thing is you can't shoot them because you can't be having gunshot in wow. So what they've come up with, it ain't great. But I'd love to see if they had an alternative.
I think if you took all the people that maybe were in an accident, or those of us who earlier this summer, I'm out in the driveway with the dog, and I look up and there's a deer 10 feet in front of me, and I really enjoyed it, eating the neighbors' foliage out there. But in all seriousness, I think it's they're eating my roses problem. I really do. I think that if you go and ask people what is your problem with these deer, and they said they're eating our shrubbery and our plants and stuff. They're because very few people actually hit a deer, and I think they're not really being a nuisance. I don't think they're all starving to death. I just kind of think that they're a nuisance to people's yards.
Kevin Horgan.
If you're right, I'm definitely for Bambi.
Kevin Horgan famously told me once, because I was crying about the deer. He said they're rats with beautiful long legs, and I was like, oh my God.
Well,
but
that's
a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way.
Well,
but
I've heard of PR turning rats into squirrels, but they are not rats.
I don't know if it's going to work, because if you only shoot them in the parks, and deer can multiply what's a female deer? A doe? Doe, a deer.
A
Female deer.
doe, a deer, a female deer.
She can give birth to 2 a year. And the studies show that you have to get 30 to 40% of the population, you have to kill 30 to 40% of the population to stop its growth. And that's on an annual basis. So I don't know if they're going to do that just by going to the county parks like Tillis or Queenie or wherever. Well, let's move on.
All right.
Bill, I want to ask you about Jill Schupp, who has actually been in our audience at the 9 Network. And so we're very familiar with her, state lawmaker, who announced this week that she's going to take on Anne Wagner for Congress. Anne Wagner is the Republican congresswoman from St. Louis County. Jill Schupp has been in the General Assembly in Jefferson City. I want to know what you think about this race, but also what do you think about the fact that supporters of Anne Wagner apparently were able to get the, I guess, the domain name JillSchuppForCongress.com. So when you go to JillSchuppForCongress.com, you end up at a fundraising page for Anne Wagner.
I think that's lousy. I mean, and I don't know how common it is, and I'm not on the internet trying to look this stuff up, but I don't think you should be taking your opponent's name and, you know, using it. I think that's just dirty, and I don't like that. I think Jill Schupp is a fine candidate.
I think it smacks of desperation. And when she announced she was going to run, the GOP's release said, like, this is the sacrificial lamb that, you know, they're putting forth. And I thought, like, now this woman is accomplished. She can raise a whole lot of money. This is the, you know it, I know it. This is not a sacrificial lamb and this kind of here. This smacks of desperation. So if I'm Jill Schupp, I'm not worried about that. I just go to, JillSchupp.com, and I'm not doing a political advertisement for her. I understand it, though. Look, and even before now, what goes on in politics, yeah, we might think it's dirty, but it's fair play. So I can't be mad at them for doing that.
And we don't even know for sure if Anne Wagner's campaign is even behind that little bit of, that little bit of trickery. I don't like it. I just don't like the optics of it. It's the Greco-Roman wrestling, or I'm sorry, it's not even Greco-Roman wrestling. It's just wrestling. It's like World Wrestling Federation stuff. And it's, you know, but I think Anne Wagner is probably pretty safe. I certainly like Jill Schupp.
I do not think Anne Wagner's safe. She won by 5 or 6 points in the last election to Cord von Ostern, who nobody had ever heard of. Jill Schupp is a very long-standing, you know, first of all, she's
very
great.
respected.
Well, she's respected as she works across the aisle. She's one of the few Democrats, and say she got a half dozen bills that had her name on it that she was able to work across the aisle. And she, right now, the people most worried in Republican circles are representatives in metropolitan districts right now. And I don't care all about the website stuff, but I have to say that Anne Wagner has some real vulnerability on the fact that she has, you know, Cord von Ostern made a big point and had a lot of success talking about how she was never here, never did town halls and all that. And then I think everybody realizes the Trump factor is something nobody can predict right now. But Jill Schupp, I would have liked to see a candidate earlier, but I have to tell you, she's the right candidate.
Okay, well, we've argued about this before. That, you know, I mean, I didn't think they needed a candidate earlier. Okay. I think she's a good candidate. I agree with you that Anne Wagner, you know, she's been strong for Trump, and I don't think that's going to help her. And she's always been big on guns, you know, guns are us. And I don't think that helps her in the district. Yeah. You know, and Jamie Allman, you know, I mean, there's a lot. Remember when she went on the Jamie Allman show to announce her loyalty to Trump? I mean,
but this was after she was so, you know, she was so lukewarm and not embracing him at all.
She called for him to resign from the ticket in October of 16.
It's, I mean, it is an interesting phenomenon within the Republican Party. They live and die by him.
Ray, what do you make of Barry Odom getting sacked by your alma mater this past week? And now apparently the Board of Curators are saying that they don't like the list of coaches that are being presented to them. They want to go big time.
I think they needed to move on from Barry Odom, who was a class act and took over the program at a difficult time, had a couple good seasons. They had a lot of expectations. You know, I don't blame him. He did an amazing job actually keeping the team together when the NCAA did its probation thing this year. But I think pretty clearly they have, this is, and I have to say, Jim Sturk, the athletic director, was real candid in his comment.
Surprisingly.
About like, this is about the money. We got to get the money. And sure enough, the interesting news today out of the Board of Curators, which is, you know, I think fascinating is that they're not satisfied that they're not seeing big names. Well, if they're talking big names, the $3 million that they were paying Barry Odom, it ain't going to work. They're going to have to pay more than that
More than
at a
$3
school
million.
that's
Wow.
raising tuition every year. And it really,
Well, do they
I'm
need that?
troubled by the whole thing.
You've got a connection now, Alvin, to Mizzou.
Right.
Do they need the $5 million a year football coach?
If they want to compete.
It's so funny that my daughter there could care less. Okay, right. So
She's like,
but
Barry,
now,
who?
Missouri needs to face the fact. It's been going on maybe a decade now, but the reason Missouri is struggling to make money is because they went to the SEC and the bills are higher, and the people from especially Kansas City and St. Louis don't care about an Alabama or a Georgia or a Mississippi State. They don't care. They want to see Iowa State and play Kansas every year and Oklahoma, and they just, the interest waned when they moved to that conference.
I agree.
Well, and plus they're not playing Alabama or LSU, Auburn. They're playing Vanderbilt and Kentucky and Arkansas every year. And you know, Tennessee, it isn't like, boy, we've got these powerhouse teams coming in. We don't.
Alvin's leaving the Big 12 was a huge mistake.
But you know what? Even though the team has not been doing that well, applications are up and so is enrollment.
Well, no, that's the university. Like I said, I've got a freshman major in engineering, football team, basketball team. I ain't got no time for
Football's
that.
got nothing to do with. I mean, you know, they got to understand. It's got nothing. It only is
think it does
connected
help.
to the university.
When your teams are good,
Didn't hurt Notre Dame.
It does go up.
Ask Gary Pinkel, and you're a Illini. You're a Illini.
Well, my Illini lost to Northwestern, and I said to my wife, I'm glad I didn't graduate from that school. I didn't want a diploma from them.
Speaking of big money, we need it, and here's how you can give it.
We'll be right back with Donnybrook in just a few moments. We want to take this opportunity, though, to invite you to become a member of the 9 Network and support Donnybrook and everything else you and your family enjoy here on the 9 Network. And we have something very special going on right now just during Donnybrook. We have a $3,000 challenge grant, which means that every dollar you pledge right now is going to be matched by these folks up to a grand total of $3,000. So we can really make hay during this broadcast of Donnybrook if you'll help us and do your part and become a member. Now, join us at the $5 a month sustaining membership, and you can take your pick. If you like, we'll send you a Donnybrook. You see one right there. It's foam rubber, so if you do get mad watching the program and want to throw it at the television, go right ahead. It won't hurt it. That's yours if you choose at the $5 sustaining membership. Or we'll send you one ticket to Donny Bash, and the next one is scheduled for October 1st, 2020. That'll be here before you know it. You know how fast time passes. And again, that's yours with the $5 ongoing monthly contribution. Either the Donnybrook or one ticket to come to the Donny Bash. Now, the best one of all, of course, is the $12 per month sustaining membership. And that way you get 2 tickets to Donny Bash and a Donnybrook. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make, you know, messy decisions and things like that. You get 2 tickets for you and whoever you would like to bring along to Donny Bash and a Donnybrook. Both of those with just a $12 ongoing monthly contribution to the 9 Network. This is what we'll send you, by the way, if you choose the Donny Bash, so that you'll have something substantial that you can give to the person. If this is a gift that you can give to the person saying, hey, we're going to go to Donny Bash, and they will be thrilled. And speaking of being thrilled, I know Mary Ann Carson is thrilled to be sitting with the Donny Bash folks, so let's go over and see what they're up to.
Oh, I'm telling you what, the best stories go on right here at the table at Donnybrook. The very, very best.
All of them libelous.
I always tell people the production meetings are better than the show.
Yeah, wow, can you imagine the ratings?
Oh, my
That's
God.
true.
Well, and you talk about things that are behind the scenes. When people go to Donny Bash, it's a real eye-opener, isn't it?
Yes, it is, right.
A lot of people have never seen a live broadcast like that. So let's talk about that.
Well, they tell us they get such a kick out of it because they love watching and actually seeing for the first time the crew. I mean, we have such a great floor crew.
We do have
Does
a great
anybody
crew,
else
too.
see
Yes.
this little? Okay, good.
Yeah, he's
We have a wonderful floor crew, and they're They're actually there, and they get to see everybody doing their job, and they get to hear the director, and it's just a lot of fun for folks.
Telling Ray, say something liberal.
I
Ray.
was
Say something, now.
I think you're getting some camera time. This is good. This was smart. We'll get a lot of give some love to the crew. And
yeah,
we'll
they're our
we would
favorites.
like you to sort of stay over here.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, it's a great team here, and that's one of the things that's really cool about being part of the 9 Network is you're not only part. This station's great, and PBS is. Very important part of our
Truly.
national landscape. And this is, St. Louis is one of, if not maybe the best PBS station in the country.
It
really is
yes,
very prominent.
For per capita viewing, we outrank New York, Chicago, all of the big markets.
We really do. For real.
So have you ever wondered why we get this leniency from corporate? It's like, they actually are a good show.
We'll keep them on for a little while longer, right? But one of the things that I think you all have talked about as well is that if somebody has been to Donny Bash before, don't be shy, come back. I mean, you love seeing regulars.
Well, we see a lot of people
see them
year
all the
from
time.
year to year. A lot of people come, and we get a lot of our regulars like
We have a caravan from Greenville.
Bill from Rock Hill and Mike from
Oh,
Leslie,
I love
and
that.
we have a lot of folks that we see every year.
In fact, I'm surprised. I would
Wanna leave
say,
anybody out.
I don't know what the percentage would be. I don't think there's any way to tell, but a chunk of the audience is repeat. They come every single Donny Bash. It's a tradition. The grandmother will come with her daughter and her grandchildren. I mean, it's really
And then with them making us all feel a little older than we should be, they will introduce somebody from their family, like this is the first time that they have come, and they are younger, and it's like, well, enjoy the show and God bless you for being here.
Right, and then you bring up a good point because you meet with people in the audience before
Oh, yeah,
the show.
before.
And after,
And
after.
after.
We have a little
yeah.
cocktail hour
Yeah.
beforehand and then after. So, it starts about 5 o'clock in the evening,
Yeah.
maybe 5:30. And I don't think we leave till maybe 9:30, 9:45.
Yes, absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah.
right? And the parking is great at the Sheldon.
Yes.
There's
It
not a
is.
bad seat in the house.
And what a
it's
place the
really-
Sheldon is.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Historic.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and the
Great.
acoustics.
What
Well,
a
the
treasure.
bad thing is they can hear us well, but
Very
it's also
well, right.
it does have acoustics.
Nothing's perfect.
And it's really an honor for us to look out there. It's just because there's
Isn't
such a
it, though?
history at the show.
And the artists, the real artists who have
Yeah, yeah,
performed
we-
there, and people will walk through like, what are you guys doing
Yeah,
here?
wait, really?
Like,
Right.
Ghosts
wait,
up
what
in the
are you-
rafters
yeah, they're
going,
like,
what are
this
you
is
doing?
wrong. This is wrong.
And we wear the mics, but the mics are for TV. You could literally, because some places are built that if you're on stage, you don't even have to yell. You can speak, and pretty much everybody can hear you.
In
So
the Sheldon,
it is.
yeah.
It's wonderful.
It is
Like I say,
wonderful.
and you were saying physicist Albert Einstein was on that stage.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my. We want to go back to Will once again, though.
All right, now I have just been told that we are about a third of the way to making that challenge grant that I told you about earlier. We have a $3,000 challenge grant from these special folks who've made that possible. Every dollar pledged during this broadcast of Donnybrook will be matched dollar for dollar. We're about a third of the way through that $3,000 challenge grant, so we have got to get there. This is urgent, and we need your help right now. So give us a call, become a member at the $5 sustaining membership, and you can take your pick. You can have either a Donnybrook, or if you prefer, one ticket to see Donny Bash live and in person, and that's coming up on October 1st, 2020. I heartily recommend that you go the $12 sustaining membership, and that will get you 2 tickets. You can bring a friend to see Donny Bash on October 1st, 2020, and you'll also get the Donnybrook. All of that is yours with just a $12 sustaining membership to the 9 Network.
Thank you so much for joining us once again, and we'll see you in October. That's going to be a lot of fun. Bill, I want to ask you about the Loop Trolley. The numbers came out for ridership in September, October, and November. And essentially, there were about 1,000 riders in November and about 4,000 or so in September and October combined. So maybe they had 5,000 riders over 3 months. In Kansas City, they average 5,700 riders per day on their trolley that has 16 stops in downtown Kansas City. So it seems as if, even with all the attention, the Wall Street Journal and discussion on Donnybrook and elsewhere, people are not riding the Loop trolley, which cost us $53 million. And I guess the question is, what are we going to do with it?
Well, I think sometimes you just have to say, this idea didn't work, and give a nod of acknowledgement to Joe Edwards, who tried to make it work, and, you know, he's done so much has worked for Joe. I mean, you know, going beyond Skinker, you know, with his hotel, and everything he's done has been good. This wasn't, and it's no reflection on him. I'd say we ought to just take this and say, it's an idea that didn't work, and instead of throwing more money after it, just drop the whole thing.
I'm so glad that Senator William Proxmire is no longer doing the Golden Fleece Award, because this really would be right up there. When you look at these, and we preface everything. I mean, this is how revered and beloved this man is. And I think that's the kind of thing, I wish that we could have, you know, instant replay, where maybe we're thinking, okay, well, from the Loop to the History Museum, is that, because now it's like you look at the numbers, projections of 400,000, and maybe 5,000.
You can't compare Kansas City's to ours, because if you've been there.
No, but the projections for the Loop trolley were 400,000.
No, but I'm just saying that it starts like in the Power Light District at one end of downtown.
Oh, sure.
And then it takes you all the way through like downtown Kansas City. It's very, just gets you all around like the downtown area. Right. It's cool, all right? It also looks like
where people want to go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's an idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean.
It looks like a bullet train. And it does not go that fast, obviously, but it looks cool, okay? Now, let's get back to St. Louis here. I'm not one to throw good money after bad, but I still think, because this has been such a debacle, that we have not seen a plan that could work for the trolley. Now, you know, God bless Joe Edwards and everybody that's been involved, but they all need to just be dismissed with the next 100,000 or whoever gives some money to it. All right, you guys are done. You have no say, and we are going to try to figure out how to make a profit with this thing, or at least break even, without any of your input, without any of that. Now, if that's Metro, yeah, whatever. But
well, who's going to have the fiduciary responsibility?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think there are three fundamental parties potentially moving forward. One is the TDD, the tax district, many of which are troubled, but there is a TDD that gets a substantial amount of money and actually has gone up a little bit in the Loop district. So that's some funding for it. The second would have to be some private sector component, whether it's Bob Clark again or somebody. It have to be a private sector. And the third, because it's transit, it's going to have to somehow, if they're willing to do it, interface with Bi-State. And I'm not saying I got some great plan on this one, but the point is, those are the components. I think the Loop Trolley Association, frankly, doesn't have a lot of credibility at this point.
But you can't, I just don't think there's any way to make it work.
I think you got to try.
From Blueberry Hill to the History Museum.
Well, then
we got no way to make this work. And I don't think that Bi-State or Metrolink should be involved. I mean, they got enough on their plate.
Don't forget, as Bill says, Metrolink already has service from DeBoliver and Lindell to Skinker. That's the same route as this particular trolley, okay? So why would it compete? Maybe that's why nobody's taking it, because you can already take Metrolink from their DeBoliver station up to Delmar.
In theory, there's a connector in Forest Park that connects.
It's not working. You can change the management all you want, Ray. People aren't interested.
Wait, I don't know that until you try.
Well, you better reinvent the wheel.
You better figure out what you're
make it. Like Don Rubin of BioSTL says, it should be a karaoke trolley.
Well, or drinks or whatever.
Drinks.
Well, that and
spices.
You know what? That's a great idea. So after people have traveled,
but take Joe and all that crew out and get some new ideas and see. And listen, I'll admit, I got the defibrillator, paddles here for the trolley.
Clear.
I'm trying to keep it alive, but I don't want to declare it dead just yet.
Thank you.
I'm close.
I'm with Alvin.
Oh, I'm close.
I'm with Alvin.
All right.
Oh,
The patience go on. I mean, it was a heroic effort to save.
Neglect.
Patience go
All
on.
right. You're going to call the time.
Wendy.
You're going to call the time.
The Loop Trolley is not dead yet, but apparently Culpeppers is going out of business. It has gone out of business, huh?
Yes, last night.
And we also heard the Schneidhorst is going to have its last day, December the 24th. That's another iconic restaurant. And Brennan's in the Central West End, perhaps not iconic, but it's been there for years.
The name just hurt.
Good
The
name.
name hurt it.
Yeah.
I think the name hurt it too.
Right.
I do too.
You know, actually, Beth and I had our first date. It was a blind date. She obviously was blind. At Culpeppers in 1990.
I thought you were going to say Brennan's and you pretended to own it.
No.
We used to go to Culpeppers every Sunday. A group of our friends used to go. They had great Bloody Marys and the wings. And I mean, it was just, it makes you sad, but especially, I mean, Culpeppers had a great run. They're still open in St. Charles, right? They had 83 years they were open in that location, and it is sad, but in the restaurant business especially, to everything there is a season, and turn over, and that's what is happening here. I mean, Schneidhorst has had a great run. Things change, tastes change, everything changes. We don't like it. We're very averse to change in this city, but I don't think it means anything. I really don't.
Well, I don't know what it.
Restaurant.
I love no.
Well, it's part of a chess center, which has been a great contribution of Exingfield, but I don't know if it doesn't mean anything in that. So far, we just don't know. We haven't heard from Culpeppers. At least I didn't see.
No, they did not make any comment.
Well, that's so
maybe
we
they
don't
will.
really know if it was just the natural order.
If they
things.
jumped or if
now,
they were pushed.
They seem to mention that Brennan's, again, you would know more about this, is going to double in size and stay in the West End, but it was kind of conspicuous. We haven't heard from Culpeppers. Now, again, I haven't read a lot on it, so I don't know. But I'd be interested to know. I would be interested to know if this was one of those wheels of progress things.
No, it's now like an arcade game place. The old
Balaban's.
Well, we've lost some good ones. Al Baker's, Yakov's.
Giovanni's not long ago.
Giovanni's, that's right.
I mean, but that happens.
That was so long ago.
Yes,
That's
really
not even fair.
And Brennan's, who's crying about Brennan?
No, they could go. By the way, I met my wife at a disco named Shenanigans. So if you got
She went to she owned a disco?
No, I met her. I'm like
you met
18,
her.
but yeah, right. You had this like,
no kidding.
It was not in a nice fancy restaurant.
Where was Shenanigans?
It was in Lawrence.
Lawrence, Kansas?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like the setup of it.
No, seriously, I know.
Hey, well, out with the old, in with the new. And next week we'll have more topics because it's time for your letters. Let's see what people had to say about the show 2 weeks ago. Why not adapt Hyperloop technology to the struggling Loop Trolley? If a Hyper Trolley could deliver hungry Forest Park patrons to Blueberry Hill in under 4 seconds, everyone would line up to ride. That from Christian Saller of St. Louis. What the city of St. Louis is saying to the inherently public St. Louis airport is that it needs to become a religion. Then, if it tries to privatize, it can give itself conversion therapy. That from the clever Frank Medica of Maryville, Illinois. You can write us care of KETC, 3655 Olive Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63108. Don't forget those emails, letters at ketc.org, and those tweets, hashtag DonnybrookSTL, and listen to us on your favorite podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn. Thanks so much for joining us and talking about some of the topics this week. We'll be back again next week, and don't forget to join us October the 1st for Donny Bash.
Donnybrook is made possible by the members of the 9 Network.
How successful has Donnybrook been over, 33 seasons now, and still keeps going, and that's because of your generous memberships to the 9 Network. And this is a very special evening, particularly during this Donnybrook episode, and let's talk to you about why that is. Because tonight we have a $3,000 member challenge grant, and we want to show you the names of the donors. You can see them now on your screen. Those are the folks who are making this challenge possible. We want to thank them. And what the challenge grant is going to do, it's going to match your gift dollar to the 9 Network, dollar for dollar, up to $3,000. That means that your $5 a month sustaining membership then becomes $10 a month because of their matching grant. This is going to be your last chance to help us meet that challenge and that grant by the end of Donnybrook. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Make sure that you join us right now when you become a sustaining member at $5 a month. Well, you can have the Donnybrook, which we have brought back by popular demand, or you can also have a ticket to Donny Bash. And the date for that at the Sheldon Concert Hall is October 1st. Now, the best deal going for tickets to Donny Bash is when you become a member at $12 as a sustaining member to the 9 Network. You're going to get 2 tickets to Donny Bash on October 1st at Sheldon Concert Hall. You'll also get Donnybrook. And as we said before, with this matching grant, dollar for dollar, your $12 sustaining membership then is going to become $24 with the matching grant. So this is a great time to take care of somebody very special on your holiday gift list. So don't wait. Give us a call right now. All of these memberships, of course, come with 9 magazine for the full year of your membership, and also you will have 9 passport for great access to an extended library of wonderful programs here on the 9 Network. We have our wonderful crew from Donnybrook standing by. They're over in the other studio with my very good friend, Will Shaw. Let's join them right now.
All right, this is our last chance to take advantage of that $3,000 challenge grant, and we can do it if you'll become a member of the 9 Network. Join us at that $12 monthly sustaining membership. You'll get 2 tickets to Donny Bash. You'll also get a Donnybrook, and you'll get to rub elbows with this crowd that I'm hanging around here with right now. How about that? That's coming up on October 1st, 2020, and the Donny Bash is just, it's one of the great events that the 9 Network sponsors, and you guys are just big stars.
You're
being way too modest.
It is our big event. That's a fact, and it's our big fundraiser for the year. You know, we don't ask for money on another occasion, really. The Donny Bash is the way that we fund this program and others at the 9 Network, and so we're viewer-supported. Notice we don't have any commercials, which is kind of nice. And that's how we do it, with your support. So I think it's fun because we, you know, Channel 9 makes the money and everybody has a good time, so it's win-win.
Absolutely.
And it's very, very casual in terms of meeting people. And we are very kind of...
You guys,
we don't really
you'll just sort of wade into the crowd.
Nondescript elbows.
Yeah.
You know, we're not like
it is very casual, but what is really wonderful about being a supporter of the 9 Network is with all of the wonderful programming, whether it's Donnybrook, whether it's any of the other programs on the 9 Network, you don't watch the same way after you feel like you're publicly supporting it, or after your family is supporting it. It's a good feeling to watch. I used to, before we were supporters of the 9 Network, I would watch, but I think I would kind of feel guilty because I wasn't giving. And then when you see a program that you know people are benefiting from, any of the town hall meetings and the topics, the important topics that are addressed, you feel good about that. I mean, you really do.
And she's so right, because, you know, my wife and I are just like looking at programs and whatnot, and I just kind of think to myself, you know, it's kind of an honor to be part of that.
Exactly.
And then Donny Bash, you know, we're on, what, 50 weeks, you know, sometimes a year.
Right.
And so it's not like we just mail it in. But it is kind of like, look, you want to be a part of that, because this is the night where we celebrate the fact that people make Channel 9 what it is. And it's so glad to meet them, because that's their testimony.
That's
hey,
exactly right.
I'm supporting the station, and we want to be there to support them. So
And it's fun. Like, I always bring my grandkids.
Yes, you do.
The human shield.
The ringers.
Who can pick on?
And you can't pick
Who can pick on Coach? Who can
on
pick
poor
on Coach? You can't do that.
And the kids have a blast. It's all fun.
Well, and right now, when you join the 9 Network, we are going to double your money. If you join us at the $12 membership level, well, that becomes $24 automatically because of the nice folks that have put together this $3,000 challenge grant. They're matching it dollar for dollar. So we can really make some hay out of this.
Absolutely, right.
If you
and
get
feel
on the phone.
free to give $3,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we may have already raised it. We don't know, but keep trying.
Well,
see.
we don't take
know.
anything
We
for
hope we
granted
have.
here.
No, we can't.
Absolutely not.
We don't.
But one thing that people do kind of take for granted is Donnybrook. How long has it been on now?
33
40
years?
33 years.
33 years in January.
Yeah.
Next
Wow.
month. That's right. It'll be
That's-
33 years. Holy cow.
And,
we're like,
Are you two
Oh,
the
man.
only two original?
Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore.
Haven't changed a bit.
no, not much.
Oh, I was talking on the phone yesterday with Mark Vittert, who was one of the, along
Yes.
with Martin Dugan, Rich Coster, Mark Vittert was one of the really founders.
Those are three founders.
Yeah, and
we
Ray-
were the
Ray and I
auditioners.
were-
Bill and I were the
You were the
auditioners.
interns.
Yeah.
We were the
The
auditioners.
interns, yeah.
In the Vittert's kitchen. But we, we were on from the beginning. And it's been...
Been a lot of fun.
It's been a pretty good ride for a couple of
I
guys
guess.
made for print journalism.
Well, stay healthy. We need another 33 years out of you guys. We need to go back over now to Mary Ann, and she'll tell us more about that challenge grant.
I certainly will be happy to, Will, and everyone. It's so good to hear the folks from Donnybrook reminisce about some of the wonderful memories that they have of the shows in years past. Now, this is going to be your last opportunity to take advantage of the member challenge and the matching dollar for dollar that these folks, you see their names up on the screen. We want to say a special thanks to these members. They're going to match your membership pledge dollar for dollar up to $3,000. And that's why this is your last chance to take advantage of this. Don't pass this by, because this is a wonderful opportunity so that your membership of $5 a month is a sustaining. You know what? It can become $10 a month. So give us a call right now.